Hope you're all well. In this video, I'm going to go over the 1 hour and the 4 hour, how to analyse in order to give yourself the best kind of chance whenever it comes to breaking down the chart so that you're coming up with clear areas on the 1 hour and the 4 hour for you to look for trades. That's what this video is going to be. It's basically part 3 of the Pillars of Trading series. Thanks a lot for the feedback on the first 2 parts, and I hope that the rest of the series goes as well as what those first 2 parts have gone. Now, I hope that you've taken a good amount of notes from both of those videos to take into your own trading. I know that from speaking to people that I work with, that they've taken it on board directly and are using it in their day-to-day trading. So this actually this video comes about, it was going to be later in the series, but it comes about because I was speaking to a couple of guys that I work with, and they just sometimes are asking the wrong questions whenever it comes to the 1 hour and the 4 hour. And obviously, yes, I enjoy working with people on a one-to-one basis. I enjoy hearing from everyone that gets in touch with me in terms of show me videos of their trades and stuff. But the whole point of this series is that I can allow people to become educated and learn and gain some knowledge from me. Like, multiple people can do it multiple times on YouTube. They can find it and they can watch it, and they can really get down to the nitty gritty without me always having to be a part of that, which I think can be good for people as well, because they can rewind, fast forward, etc., and just learn at their own pace, go over things. So what I want to do is I want to go over the daily. The daily speaks for itself. I've got another video that basically breaks down everything, and obviously with trade videos, etc., I go over it. And the daily, like previous day and trend, etc., momentum, that's it. But I feel like the 4 hour and the 1 hour does have more about it. Whenever it comes to the night before, obviously I don't go below the 4 hour the night before. So it's like, right, has today broken any structure? What are the obviously there's 6 4 hour candles per day, but I'm looking at the charts as maybe the 6th one's coming to an end. So, and then obviously by the time I wake up in the morning, there's going to be 2 new ones. So the 10 till 2 and the 2 till 6 UK time. Obviously it's slightly out just now because of the change of the times, but that's how it works. So basically what I do is I look to see, right, from the night before. So let's just go to the night before on dollar CAD. So this was the night before. Now we had this break and retest area that was support that was very, very quickly retested. Then obviously we've had the rejection, and then we created some resistance. We've respected this area, and we've created fresh resistance with this area here. This bearish candle is fresh resistance. That it's this whole area. Like, for this resistance to be broken, even though it's just a line, it has to, like, price has to close beyond this wick. So then that happens, go to sleep, wake up 1 till 5 in the morning, so usual 2 till 6 is bearish. So that tells me that the immediate momentum is bearish, but we have this kind of immediate bullish structure as well that we have to be aware of for a reaction in the day for a reaction in day trading. Like, it's obviously the trend is down, bias is down, but price hasn't got right into these lows yet, so expect a reaction. So then we go to the next candle. Next candle goes higher, takes out the highs of this resistance, but it's this whole area, the whole area. So yes, it closes beyond here, but beyond there is the whole area here. So for me, for this resistance to be broken, it has to be closed beyond up here, not this area. So to me, this is a sell high area, but with bullish immediate momentum. So then what I would be saying is, right, well, I'd be looking, right, what's my bias? My bias is down. My bias is sell. So am I looking for longs? Well, the only way that I'd be taking a counter trend trade is if we come into like the last kind of third of this strong bullish candle, that then I could look for longs. Because then that would mean that I would be at lower time frame strong structure support, and my stop loss would be well protected, and I'm buying low within the 4-hour range for the type of trade that I want to take. But then for shorts, what I would then be looking for, like without even looking at another time frame, I'd be like, right, well, ideally I would be wanting to take a short within the wick of this candle, or if price takes out the highs. So let's see what happens in the. So that's what I do. That's what I do with the 4-hour candle. This is the 5 till 9 a.m. So the usual 6 till 10 p.m. 10 a.m. Sorry, 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. UK time. I'm looking at that and I'm like, right, well, what is that 4-hour telling me? The trend hasn't changed. Structure hasn't been broken. It has closed beyond like the last couple of candles. Yes, the momentum is strong bullish, but we are still in a structure resistance area that hasn't been closed beyond. So the immediate, obviously, previously 1 till 5 was bearish, but then obviously support held in a lower time frame. Buyers came in again, pushed it higher. We have this support as well down here that we've marked, but that's essentially what I would be looking for. So let me just mark it out with a different size or a different color. So for longs, short-term longs, obviously, I would be looking for a kind of entry within this area, and for shorts, I'd be looking within this area. So let's see. Now you can see that the shorts came in, price opened up, and then basically collapsed. So what I want to now do is take this to the 1 hour. So you can see that the purple area that I was talking about on just this 4-hour candle, without even looking at another time frame, I'm just talking about the 4-hour candle. This is the kind of questions you want to ask yourself. This area, this purple area, was where I would potentially be looking for longs if I saw rejection, if I saw a reason to think that. Now you can see here that we did have, at the start of the new 4-hour, we did have a rejection. Where did it happen? In the area on the 4-hour that I would be looking for. I would be potentially looking for longs as a counter trend trade. Now, why is price reacted from there? Well, it's an area that was the last area on the 1 hour that has caused the 1 hour impulse to the upside. That's basically it. That's basically the reason. That's what has made this push. So then price, the first time it comes back to retest there, is obviously going to have some kind of reaction because there's more orders to be filled, but then those orders to be filled aren't always going to go and make a new high, especially if it's against the higher time frame. So to me, like, I just want to go back to the 4-hour. So then to me, with this 4-hour candle close, I'm like, right, well, I'm looking for shorts again, but continuation this time because the reversals happened up here. What's happened with this bearish candle? Well, we've broken beyond and closed beyond this area here, but we've not closed beyond this support here. So what I would be wanting is ideally a pullback into this area or even the higher bearish area there, and then look for first target being the lows of the previous 4-hour candle, and then which I expect is the low of the day. Yeah, it's the low of the day at the time. And yeah, that's like, without looking below, without going into more detail on the 4-hour, this is the kind of way that you should be like projecting the next 4 hours movement using the previous 4-hour and the trend, the immediate momentum, etc. So let's just see what happens. You can see that price has pushed down further, strong bearish candle, first management point down in the lows of the 4-hour. It came up to the area that was broken and closed beyond this support area, which again, if we just mark out and then we look at it on the lower time frames, green, let's just mark it out green. We go to the 1-hour. What is it on the 1-hour? A 1-hour break and retest area. 1-hour break and retest area, which is the area on the 4-hour that we were looking to see proof if sellers came in that would be interested. We see a slowdown on the 1-hour, price takes out the highs and then turns around. So there's entries within here. So this is an area within this area that you could look for entries, or you could wait for a close beyond, which is a close beyond here, and then you get a pullback in the next 1-hour, and then you get another solid push, and it takes out the lows of the previous day. And all in all, to me, that is a solid, very solid trade. So let me just remove these, and that is like, get used to doing that for every candle close on the 4-hour, and then mark out the areas, put them on, and then see, right, well, what is that on the 1-hour? What is that saying to me? What is that area? Can I expect the price is going to come to that area and give me a trading opportunity? Now, on the 1-hour, so we've spoken of on the 4-hour. On the 1-hour, this is obviously like more immediate price. It's every 1-hour. It's not every 4 hours. So it happens more often. There's not as, like, the candles aren't as big a range. The movement can be like more erratic because it is a quicker time frame. But what I like on the 1-hour are using the 4-hour. So on 1-hour, use the high and low of the previous 4-hour candles range, the current high / low of the day, and the previous day's high and low as well. This is obviously applicable to me because of the way that I trade, the kind of rough time period that I'm in a trade. Obviously, if you trade for days on end, then the likelihood that this kind of information is probably not going to be suitable, because you're going to be looking to be in a trade for days, whereas I'm in a trade mainly for hours. And then obviously if it keeps going, it keeps going. So you've got the 1-hour. So also what I like are break and retest areas. So let me just break and retest areas in line with trend. Structure areas, which are usually going to be the kind of high or low. They all, like, the thing with trading is that a lot of things line up in the same area. If you have, as I just broke down the 4 hour range, the 4 hour candle, immediate, like how to interpret that, you take that then into the 1 hour, like look and see where those areas are, and then take it down into the 15 minute. It's all going to, like, price is going to really accumulate in those areas. So let's look at what price did whenever we opened. So it's 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning. Let's just move this to here. Okay, so we have a tight Asia range. We've got high of the day is here. Current low of the day is down here, and we're within like this kind of tighter range. So obviously there's buyers came in from this area. So what I would then be saying is, right, well, the range is too tight to really trade within unless you're going to be trading like a 15-minute, 30-minute candle, like a very quick move. Then to me, it just makes sense to wait. So let's see what the next 1 hour brings. The next 1 hour brings a strong bullish candle. So the range would be obviously from the high to the low. Do you want to take longs? Well, to me, the range hasn't been broken out of because we haven't closed beyond this wick. We are counter trend to my main buys from the previous day. So I'm really like, well, no, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm short or nothing with dollar CAD. So to me, that's like, well, let's see how price reacts at the current high of the day. Let's see what the next 1 hour does, basically. So now we get a really strong push. We get a really strong push that, I mean, if you were in the lower time frames, you have the break and retest area here, and you have a break and retest area down in here. That's at 6:30 though. That's too early for me personally. I'm not really going to be involved in there, and this video is about the 1 hour and the 4 hour. But essentially, if you were to see this 1 hour candle strong, counter trend, if you were to take a trade in the 7 to 8 and it's counter trend, you're basically up at the current highs of the day. I would be saying that if you were to want to take it, you should be expecting to be in and out within half an hour. Like, you're looking for an entry, whether it's based on price or you're looking for an entry on the 1 minute, 5 minute maximum, unless it's to do with like general price. But even then, for me, I wouldn't really be one for entering on general price. So that's just, the higher you go, the kind of more sell high you are in the higher time frame. So that's a good thing, and you're getting there quick, so the rest of the day is still to come. Then you get price creating a bearish candle. Now, let me just delete these. So we're out of this range, and this is still the low of the day, and you can see here, what did we do? We had a strong bullish candle, then we had a bearish candle, and it actually just took out the highs of that, which was also the high of the day, and then closed bearish. So for me, what I would then be looking for in this candle is a pullback, stop loss above the highs, and then first target being this 1 hour support area, because that would be an area that if price wants to go long from, then it would make sense that price could find buyers, because it is a good value area within the day, like kind of in between shorter, medium term time frames. So this is the 8 till 9. Then let's just move another one. So as you can see, we don't come right into the structure that was the structure resistance, but we have a decent pullback that then can give an entry. So this is without me looking at the previous candle to be like, right, okay, well, this is what I should expect. This is me just doing it candle by candle and being like, right, well, this is what I would be wanting to see per candle, and this is what I would be expecting. That's it. That's all you can do in the 1 hour and the 4 hour, because if you want to like enter on the lower time frames, then you obviously have to wait for a pullback on those time frames. You have to wait for the entry that suits you, or whether you enter on price sometimes just due to the 1 hour. You're like, right, okay, well, the high of this is 1.25 flat, the low is 1.2485. If I get a pullback of at least kind of, I mean, that is a kind of range of 15, 14 pips. So if I get a pullback of 10 pips or 8 pips or whatever, then I would be looking for an entry. That's what kind of makes sense to me. Then you come into the new 1 hour. It opens at 1.2491 and the high is 1.2493. Now the low of the previous 1 hour was 85. This is 93, so that is 8 pips. So it's basically on the border of, right, well, that's around about 50% of a pullback. That would then allow me to take a trade to the downside, with first targets being the kind of 1 hour support. So you've got the 1 hour support. We now, with this bearish candle, we have closed back. We have closed back within this previous resistance as well. We've closed back within the wicks of this. So to me, that's saying, right, okay, well, we've closed back within the range, so I would expect something like that back into here, first target low of the day, and then if it drops, then like just take it hour by hour. So let me just remove that. Well, we can leave the original. So that's the original resistance. What do I expect in this next 1 hour? Well, we've got a rejection from this support area. Still closed bearish, so I would say, right, well, we are like 50%, more than 50% of a pullback now. So it's like, well, somewhere around in this area would make sense for shorts to then fill the wick and see how price reacts at these lows. Now, again, you can see that price doesn't have that much of a pullback. Let me just see on the 15-minute quickly. You can see that, again, it's a 15-minute break and retest area. That price pushes through, pulls back, and then has the solid drop to the next kind of main target. But I'm trying to focus on the 1 hour here. Just getting into the habit of expecting like what to expect on each 1 hour candle. And then obviously whenever the 4 hour candles, like using them in tandem together, obviously I'm just doing it one time frame by time frame because it's easier for me to explain just by, rather than going between each time frame. I just like, it's, you saw how I talk about the last close 4 hour candle, how I use the range of that to then be like, great, well, ideally I want to be shorting in here or longing in here. This is my bias for the next 4 hours. This is my bias for the day. These are the kind of stick areas that could be on the 1 hour, but this is the areas that I would be interested to buy or sell from. So we have that. Now we've got a strong bearish candle that has made a new low of the day. We have broken and closed beyond this support area, which is now support that could turn resistance, break and retest area. So I'd be looking for a pullback into this area and then look for shorts. So, I mean, in the immediate next 1 hour, you could look for a very quick short back down into these lows. But the fact, as I always say, whenever price makes a new low, especially like, it's not just like new low after new low, it's from kind of quite a high up area within the range. Obviously, opposite for for longs, but it's quite high up in the range that I'd be like, right, well, it's travelled quite a bit, so I would expect at least an hour or so of a slowdown. We're three candles into a bearish impulse. We're down at the lows of the day. We've travelled from the high of the day. It's going to have a break. So you can see here that we have a pullback, and there is that immediate further short. But this is a kind of continuation towards the end of the kind of impulse move on the 1 hour. To me, having more than 4 1 hour candles in the same direction is pretty rare, especially like a smooth 4 hours. To me, it is rare. If you do your own back testing, you'll see that. Obviously, there is occasions that it does happen, more than 4 candles in a row, and that's always going to be the case. There's always going to be a kind of different, like, it's not going to be 100%, but that is a kind of rule for me that anything more than 2 or 3 hours into a move, I'm expecting within the next kind of couple of hours that we're going to at least pull back for an hour or a decent proportion of that 1 hour, even if it's not for the full 1 hour. So you can see here that this bearish candle on the 1 hour closed. We took out the lows of that, but now we've rebounded. We've actually closed back within the previous low of the day. So for your very short term trades, okay, you could have made some profit here. If you're looking, as I say, on the real lower time frames, just looking for that continued momentum. But now that I've seen this bullish candle, but with a decent wick to the upside, I'm like, right, well, we're in a break and retest area. We're still in a time of day that the volume should be in the market. Technically, it makes sense that we could look for further shorts, at least to the bodies of this area, and then maybe even to the current lows of the day. So looking at this 1 hour, as it's bullish, so it's counter to the direction that you want to trade, I would prefer if price was in the kind of wick area for me to look for shorts rather than getting in at this area. Like getting in here on the 1 hour, well, it would make sense to just try and see if you can enter up in like above the above the close of the 1 hour. So within the wick, because that means that you're, what's that? The high is 1.2472, the low is 1.2459. So that, again, that's like a 12 pip, 13 pip range. So you're looking for at least kind of 5-6 pips of a pullback for you to then be interested in trading. So that to me makes sense. So 13, 14 pips. So we have this bullish candle. Let me just delete this. So you want a pullback. You want to be kind of within the kind of close and high of the 1 hour candle that's closed. Looking for a short within this 1 hour. What does price do? Price takes out the highs of the 1 hour and has a push down into the bodies. Doesn't want to break the lows, but again, there's still that kind of immediate trade that you could be in, that you've then taken some profit and moved your stop loss to break even or just above the highs of this current 1 hour, whatever. That can be something that you do. Obviously, there's trade management video that I've done, and I'll be doing obviously videos on the lower time frames, but this is just focusing, as I say, on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Then we get the next move, takes out the highs of the 1 hour again. You can see here that we've got a wick, 4 wicks in a row in the 1 hour to the upside of the 1 hour candles in a break and retest area. It's clear that sellers are coming in. They just took some time to start going. Obviously, US session kicks in. And then it's, right, well, bearish candle. We're at this structure support area. So again, you would want to wait for a pullback to then enter rather than entering at this structure support area on the 1 hour, which is connected to the low of the day. And then there, bam, we pull back, we hit the previous low of the day area. Your stop loss would be above these highs, and then your first management point would be the low of the day, and then we smash through it and retest it, and you just continue on down. Now, this is obviously a trending day because the US dollar was weak and the Canadian dollar was strong on a fundamental kind of level, but that is essentially what you should be doing every 1 hour candle, like looking at the trend, looking at the momentum, looking at the range of the last 1 hour. How does that look in the last 4 hour as well? And then seeing, right, well, if I'm taking a trade here, am I selling high or selling low, or buying high or buying low in terms of the kind of medium picture? So for me, the medium picture is the range of the last 4 hour candle and the current range of the day. So are you selling closer to the low of the day or closer to the high of the day? If you're selling closer to the high of the day, that means that you are obviously selling high, not just in immediate terms, but also more medium terms. So that therefore means that you could have a higher expectation that the trade lasts an hour or two longer, or you're able to withstand a deeper pullback that lasts an hour or two, things like that. Whereas if you're entering at the lows of the day, you've got to expect that you're going to be in and out of that trade within an hour or so, and just making sure that you're selling high on the kind of lower time frames to give yourself the best risk to reward possible and stop loss protection to make the trade worthwhile. So I hope you enjoy this video. Let me know if you're going to be doing this for your 1 hour and 4 hour charts. And yeah, look forward to hearing about your kind of if you're changing your analysis, if you're changing the way that you're looking at the charts, if it's helping you, then yeah, let me know. I like to hear those kind of comments.